Chapter 1841. The couple sat in the study with their children. While Benjamin was busy working, he also supervised Jasper as they read. Orissa finished helping Jesse with his homework and then read a story to her. "Daddy, we're done reading." Jasper finished reading 10 pages and was very happy. The font was a bit small, and it made his eyes sore. Benjamin looked at him and then at Zachary, who seemed to have finished reading as well. "Well, pack up your things and go out to play." Jasper widened his eyes and looked at him. "Aren't you going to test me?" Benjamin smirked. "You were reading seriously, what do I need to test you for?" Jasper chuckled. "No test, then I'm really going out." "Go out and play." Benjamin smiled. The older children also packed up their things and put the books back in their places. "Mommy, I want to go out and play too." Jesse saw that Jasper and the others were going out, so he turned to Orissa and said, "Go ahead." Orissa patted her head. "Put away your homework book." "Okay." Jessie nodded repeatedly, her braids swaying cutely. Gavin and the others packed up their backpacks, put them on their backs, and waited for Jessie. Jessie zipped up her backpack and held it. The 6 siblings then went out. "I'm going out too. How much longer are you going to be busy?" Orissa walked over and glanced at Benjamin's computer. Benjamin reached out and pulled her over, letting her sit on his lap. "It'll be done soon," Benjamin said, holding her close while typing on the keyboard. Orissa smiled, feeling trapped in his embrace. She decided to wait until he finished his work. Benjamin's screen also became a blur of numbers. After a few minutes, Benjamin finally finished writing the proposal. Orissa leaned against him, almost falling asleep. Benjamin saved the proposal, forwarded it to Ethan, and shut down the computer. Looking down, he saw Orissa half asleep, opening and closing her eyes. Benjamin chuckled, leaning down to kiss her on the lips. Orissa opened her eyes, looking at his handsome face in a daze. Benjamin held the back of her head, deepening the kiss. Skillfully, he parted her lips and deepened the kiss. Orissa was breathless and blushing. Seeing her alluring appearance, Benjamin's eyes darkened. The kiss grew more passionate. Orissa responded to his advances. Tilting her head back, she embraced him. Benjamin's hand moved down, lifting her dress and exploring. His hand pressed against her, moving upwards, directly touching her thigh. Orissa blushed even more. Looking towards the door, they were hidden behind the computer on the desk. Benjamin kissed her nose, eyes, and cheeks. He then lifted her and sat her on his desk, facing each other. Leaning over, he pressed her against the desk, kissing her neck. The study was quiet. Only Benjamin's heavy breathing and the woman's soft moans. The ambiguity index soared. Benjamin didn't go too far, just kissed her all over before letting her go. He hugged her tightly, the two of them leaning on each other's shoulders, calming down the impulse. Orissa's face blushed and her heart raced. Sweat dripped from her face, panting, her mind a bit blank. Benjamin breathed heavily, smelling the charming fragrance on her, his heart beating faster, pecking kisses behind her ear. "No more." Orissa gently patted his arm. Benjamin smirked, kissing her blushing earlobe again. "Honey, you seem to have grown a lot." Benjamin pinched her. The hint was very obvious. It was no longer a hint. Chapter 1842. Orissa's cheeks flushed hot. "It's still necessary to massage every day to grow well." Benjamin continued to tease her in her ear, sending tingling electric currents. Challenging her nerves all the time. "It's not like that." Orissa rolled her eyes, clearly because of pregnancy. "What's not like that?" Benjamin's hand continued to misbehave. Orissa sat up straight, and the next second her face turned even redder. Shyly glaring at him, she was about to get up, but he held her down. Pressed on top of her. "Oh, let me go." She pulled his hand away. Benjamin's gaze was intense, his voice hoarse, very charming. "You're fine." "I'm not fine yet, wait a while." Benjamin's breathing was rapid, his handsome face filled with a seductive look. Orissa's heart raced as she looked away, not daring to meet his gaze. They needed to calm down. "Are you okay now?" She was embarrassed. Feeling Benjamin's obvious change, her heart rippled. Benjamin smirked, leaned over, and bit her ear. "Don't you feel it, Orissa?" The two of them continued to tease each other in the study for 20 minutes before going out. Benjamin hugged her and walked to the study door. The children didn't know where they had gone to play, and was quiet downstairs. "Are you hungry?" I'm okay." Orissa looked at him. "Are you hungry?" "I'm not hungry. Shall we go upstairs to take a shower?" Benjamin looked at her and couldn't help but kiss her again. Orissa smiled shyly. "I wonder where the kids went." She looked towards the garden. No one was in sight. "They might be upstairs." Benjamin took her upstairs to check. They went straight to the children's room. The door was closed, but there were some sounds coming out. Orissa opened the door, and 6 children were sitting on the bed, playing cards. They had been playing for a while, with each kid having paper stuck to their faces. She chuckled, having fun. "Mommy, Daddy, Mr. Graham." The children instinctively covered the cards on the bed, eyeing them warily. Benjamin chuckled softly. "Isn't it a bit late to hide now?" Gavin rolled his eyes and retorted, "It's not late. What if you confiscate them?" Benjamin snorted, "Just play occasionally. We've only been playing for half an hour." Jasper looked at him and shouted. He had the most paper stuck to his forehead. Orissa couldn't help but laugh. It was fun, but he just couldn't beat his brothers at cards. Jesse also had a lot of paper stuck to him, just joining in the fun. "It's getting late. Tidy up, take a bath, and go to bed. You have school tomorrow," she reminded the children. "We know, Mommy, we'll play 2 more rounds before taking a bath." Oliver gestured a 2 to her. "All right, you guys continue playing, but remember to sleep early." Orissa reminded them again, then gestured for Benjamin to leave. "I'll come check on you later. You need to be in bed by 10. Benjamin raised his wrist to check the time. We know," Gavin waved his hand. We'll go take a shower soon," Timothy replied with a smile. "Deal the cards." Zachary stared at Jasper, urging him on. Benjamin glanced at them before returning to the master bedroom with Orissa. "Have they played like this before?" Benjamin was surprised to see them playing cards like this for the first time. "Yeah," Orissa chuckled. She glanced at Benjamin. "Don't you like it?" The children's cards were taught by her and Bradley. When they had nothing to do, they would gather together to play cards and have some fun. It was purely for entertainment, no money involved. Even if they won, it was just for fun. "It's not bad." Benjamin pinched her cheek. "I occasionally play too." Chapter 1843. Orissa smiled. She had seen his card skills before. Benjamin didn't want to lose, and everyone couldn't win against him. The most miserable ones were Kingsley and the others. They liked to play, but unfortunately couldn't win against Benjamin. They often complained to her. "Have you really never lost?" Orissa looked at Benjamin with a smile. Benjamin put his arm around her neck, leaned in, kissed her on the face, and hooked the door with his heel. "I have lost before." Orissa's eyes lit up. "When did you lose?" "Really lose?" "Yes." Benjamin looked at her. "Because of someone. I lost when I was upset." Orissa was stunned for a moment before realizing he was talking about her. She glared at him in annoyance. "So, I can still affect whether you win or lose." "Indeed." Benjamin smirked. Orissa glanced at him, her watery eyes shimmering. "And now, will I still affect whether you win or lose?" "It depends on the situation." Benjamin took her to the bathroom. "Depends on the situation." Orissa looked at him, guessing. Benjamin closed the bathroom door and lifted her up. "Ah." Orissa was surprised and pounded on Benjamin's chest. "What are you doing? Taking a bath together?" Benjamin's gaze was deep as he sat her on the sink and started undressing her. Orissa blushed again. "Honey, you're blushing again." Benjamin's gaze was intense, staring at her, his eyes incredibly seductive. Orissa blushed shyly. Who wouldn't blush when someone undresses them? Benjamin shook his head. "It's only when someone you like undresses you that you blush." Orissa smiled and mischievously decided to undress him as well. Before long, they were both completely exposed to each other. The bath was ready, and Benjamin carried her to the tub to soak. Orissa leaned against him as they relaxed in the warm water, not doing much, just enjoying each other's company. The day's exhaustion seemed to melt away. Suddenly, Orissa remembered something important. Darling. She looked up at Benjamin, and Benjamin opened his eyes. Their gazes locked onto her delicate face. Yes. Today, Commander Hoffman called me. Orissa whispered as she snuggled closer to him. Benjamin's eyes flashed, and he ran his hand through the water, rubbing her arm. What did he say? He wants me to be the security consultant. Should I accept? She had almost forgotten about it. It was getting late, and she didn't know if Commander Hoffman was still waiting for her call. Benjamin lowered his head and kissed her forehead. Do you want to go? He asked. Orissa hesitated, looking up at him. You don't oppose it. What would I oppose? Benjamin nibbled at her lip. Didn't I tell you before, if you want to go, then go. Orissa sighed. I'm not sure. The offer was tempting, but her relationship with Jeremiah made her hesitant. As long as he can guarantee your safety, taking this job might not be a bad idea, Benjamin analyzed for her. Now the Lewitt family hasn't fallen yet. It would be troublesome if the Lewitt family found out about her identity. Orissa thought for a moment and understood his words. He said I can work from home, only go to deal with important data issues. Orissa repeated what Jeremiah said to Benjamin, asking him to help analyze it. Benjamin smirked. That's all good, but did he mention money? He told me to name my price first. Orissa chuckled. Benjamin nodded, pondering. If you want to go, ask for $2 billion from him. Annual salary. Orissa was shocked, wondering if it was too much. How much is their budget for a whole year? When their relationship is exposed, won't it be sensationalized? If you prefer a monthly salary, that's also possible. My honey is not someone who can be easily ordered around. Benjamin said arrogantly. Chapter 1844. Orissa smiled and leaned against him. Are we asking for too much? Benjamin's phoenix eyes sparkled as he looked at her. My honey is worth that price. Orissa felt happy in her heart. If you're too embarrassed to ask, I'll talk to him. Benjamin kissed her, not giving any face to Jeremiah. If not him, then who? Well, I'll talk to him. I don't even know if he's still waiting for my call. I almost forgot to tell you. With Benjamin's support, Orissa didn't hesitate. Let's make some money first. Benjamin kissed her again before wiping the water droplets off her body. Orissa put on a bathrobe and came out, taking her phone. It was past 10 o'clock. He probably hasn't rested yet. Benjamin walked over and hugged her from behind, resting his chin on her shoulder and rubbing against it. Orissa turned to look at him. You go to bed first, I'll make a call. Benjamin picked her up horizontally and sat on the edge of the bed, holding her. You make your call. Benjamin held her, resting his chin on her shoulder. Orissa looked at him before calling Jeremiah. Put it on speaker. Orissa smiled and turned on the speaker. After a few rings, Jeremiah answered the call. Orissa. Jeremiah was still very happy to receive her call. Commander Hoffman, you haven't rested yet. Orissa felt embarrassed to call him so late. Still busy, waiting for your phone call. If you don't call soon, I'll call you instead. Have you made up your mind? Jeremiah pressed for an answer. Orissa pursed her lips. Yes, I promise to give it a try. Benjamin gently squeezed her hand. Orissa turned to look at him, meeting Benjamin's speechless gaze. She was puzzled. Good, I thought you were going to reject me. Jeremiah was overjoyed. You can name your salary, I won't hesitate to agree on my end. Benjamin raised his chin, indicating for her to name her price. Orissa hesitated to speak. Commander Hoffman, are you really asking me to name my price? You name it. Once I agree, I won't back out. Jeremiah chuckled happily. Orissa felt even more embarrassed. The words stuck in her throat. Benjamin covered her mouth with his hand and called out to Jeremiah. $2 billion. There was a moment of silence. Whether it was because they didn't expect Benjamin to be there or because of the amount, it was unclear. Per month. Jeremiah's voice finally came through after a pause. Commander Hoffman, if you want Honey to be your security consultant, it's not easy to hire her. Not to mention her security concerns, her skills are top-notch in the world. If you can't afford it, don't bother her in the future. Orissa lightly nudged Benjamin. Jeremiah snorted lightly. Fine, $2 billion per month, but I want a buyout. Orissa and Benjamin exchanged a glance. It seemed like a fair deal for both parties. But 24 billion in a year. Orissa swallowed nervously. How many years would it take for her to earn that much salary? Many companies don't even make that much in a year. Wasn't this too easy for her? No problem, Benjamin agreed. If it's a buyout, then it's a buyout. Honey doesn't need to do anything else. But she also signed a contract with my company before, so do you need help with the breach of contract fee? Otherwise, she won't be able to work for you. One more cunning than the other. Orissa couldn't help but laugh and cry. How much? Jeremiah was eager for talent, but Benjamin had him in his grasp. Not much, 10 billion. Benjamin said calmly. Orissa's eyes widened instantly. He really dares. Her breach of contract fee isn't that much, at most just a few million. He actually said 10 billion, right off the bat. Benjamin signaled for her to stay quiet. Chapter 1845. Jeremiah gritted his teeth. Benjamin, you really dare, huh? Benjamin raised an eyebrow. Commander Hoffman, you flatter me. Are you unable to afford this breach of contract fee? You poached my people, causing huge losses to my company. Where else can I find such a good technical consultant? If you can't afford it, then don't buy out. We don't care, but the price won't be discounted. 2 billion, not a penny less. Jeremiah hesitated. If he bought out, Orissa's technical expertise would only be available to him, and even Benjamin couldn't hire her again. But giving the breach of contract fee to Benjamin made Jeremiah a little unhappy. Was this your previous condition? Of course not. My honey's matters are my honey's matters, and my matters are my matters. Do you think I'm indirectly asking you for money? Benjamin chuckled. 10 billion was nothing to him. But his honey was Jeremiah's daughter, and he had to get some alimony first, considering all the suffering his honey had endured over the years. Isn't your breach of contract fee too overbearing? Jeremiah gritted his teeth. Benjamin was clearly being intentional. You don't have to give it to me. The penalty in the contract is only 50 million, but the losses to my company are more than that. Benjamin didn't care if he agreed or not, he even revealed the penalty in the contract. Jeremiah, we need to rest now. Commander Hoffman, think about it carefully. You can give us an answer tomorrow. Benjamin asserted his authority, showing no signs of compromise. Orissa remained silent, watching Benjamin negotiate with Jeremiah. If it succeeded, she would benefit. If it failed, there would be no loss. All right, I agree to your terms. Jeremiah gritted his teeth. You let Orissa answer the phone. Benjamin kissed Orissa's cheek, releasing the hand covering her mouth. Orissa chuckled, softly calling out, Commander Hoffman. Orissa, send me your account number, I will transfer the money to you. I will pay you 1 year's salary up front, as well as the breach of contract fee from Benjamin's side. Additionally, I will give you an extra 3 months' salary, totaling 30 billion for the year. I will buy out your technology. Is that acceptable to you? Orissa was pleasantly surprised by the additional 6 billion. Commander Hoffman, isn't that too much? What if I can't deliver? Won't you lose out? She reminded Jeremiah not to make impulsive decisions. As long as you deliver, I won't lose out. Benjamin is already competing with me for you. I believe in your skills, you are definitely worth this price. Jeremiah had also considered the implications. After the buyout, Orissa would only work for him. It was definitely a win-win situation. But if you breach the contract midway, you will have to pay me double the price. Jeremiah added a condition. Double the breach fee would be 60 billion. How many years is the contract for? Orissa clarified, needing to weigh her options. 10 years. If the cooperation goes well, we can renew the contract later. Jeremiah had already planned it out. Signing a 10-year contract would be very beneficial. Orissa glanced at Benjamin. Benjamin gestured with his fingers, indicating 5. Encouraging her to negotiate with Jeremiah. 10 years is too long, let's start with 5. Orissa made her request. 5 years. Jeremiah hesitated. 5 years seemed a bit short. Commander Hoffman, for high-tech talents, 5 years is definitely worth several times the price. Do you think their skills are stagnant? Not to mention, they also have to keep learning various new technologies to constantly improve themselves. Such talents are definitely rare. Jeremiah sighed, negotiating with Benjamin, he really couldn't get any advantage. Okay, let's start with 5 years. Benjamin smiled. Commander Hoffman is straightforward. The contract is ready. Send it to my email. I want my honey to take a good look at it. Is Benjamin suspecting that he will tamper with the contract? Jeremiah gritted his teeth. He had agreed to all the conditions. There was no need to play tricks. Benjamin, would I still deceive her? Chapter 1846. It's best not to deceive each other. After all, it's all black and white on paper. It's better for both parties to accept it. In the future, Commander Hoffman, you should also pay more attention to Honey's safety issues. Otherwise, if Honey suffers any grievances or hardships with you, don't blame us for breaking the contract. Benjamin also warned Jeremiah, don't worry, she will be safe with me. Tell her to send me the account number. I'll transfer the money to her now. Jeremiah just wanted to finalize this matter now, so as not to have more troubles later. Paying the money is equivalent to fulfilling the contract. Send her the account number. Benjamin raised his chin, indicating Orissa. Orissa smiled. Commander Hoffman, I'll hang up now. Okay, Jeremiah replied. Orissa hung up the phone and sent her bank account information. Are you asking for too much? She looked at Benjamin with a wry smile. Benjamin turned her face and kissed her. You didn't refuse. Orissa smiled. I didn't expect him to agree without refusing. Since he agreed, why should I refuse? He even gave me an extra 6 billion. Benjamin also smiled cunningly. If I don't give you a little more, how can you compete with me? Orissa pinched his waist. At that moment, a text message came to her phone. The money was transferred, 130 billion, neither more nor less. Benjamin glanced at it and his thin lips curled up. Jeremiah is getting impatient. Orissa could also sense it. This time her phone rang again. It was Jeremiah calling. She picked up and put it to her ear. Hello. Commander Hoffman. I just transferred it. Did you receive it? Jeremiah asked. Yes, I got it. Thank you, Commander Hoffman. Orissa chuckled. Don't mention it. This is your own salary. Just don't block me in the future. Contact me anytime if you need anything. Jeremiah reminded her. Orissa chuckled awkwardly. I won't. Now Jeremiah was her sugar daddy. How could she dare to block him? It's getting late. Rest up. We'll talk about other work matters later. Jeremiah saw that it was getting late and didn't chat with her much. Okay, Orissa replied, while avoiding Benjamin's hand. Good night, Jeremiah said. Good night. Orissa awkwardly replied and quickly hung up the phone. What are you doing? Talking on the phone. Benjamin smiled. Aren't you going to thank me for being such a great hero? Orissa met his deep gaze and teased him. Crafty fox. Benjamin narrowed his phoenix eyes, pressed her onto the bed, and supported himself on both sides of her body. He didn't put all his weight on her. Who are you calling a crafty fox? Jeremiah is the crafty one. And you're a fox too, cunning. Orissa smiled and reached out to hug his neck, taking the initiative to kiss him. Benjamin's eyes darkened. Should I transfer the 300 billion to you? Orissa's eyes were mischievous. Just keep it. My money is your money. The liquidated damages originally belonged to the company. But this money was obtained by him for her, so it wouldn't go to that side. This is the benefit he arranged for his honey. Benjamin leaned down and kissed her. Not paying the company's breach of contract fee. Orissa looked at him. You're not even working. Why pay a breach of contract fee? Benjamin got up, picked her up and laid her down. Orissa smiled, watching Benjamin put her phone away. Go check if the kids are asleep. Don't stay up too late again. She nudged Benjamin, who was leaning over, reminding him. Wait for me. Benjamin smirked, then got up, put on slippers, and walked towards the door. Orissa pulled the blanket over herself, getting ready to sleep. Benjamin went to the children's room, opened the door and peeked inside. Jasper and the others were all asleep. They were snoring. He chuckled softly, seeing that they were all tucked in, then closed the door and returned to the master bedroom. Chapter 1847. Orissa saw him come back and asked, "Are they asleep?" "They're all asleep." Benjamin closed the door and locked it before walking back to the bed. He lifted the covers, lay down beside her, and turned off the light to sleep. Orissa smiled and snuggled into his arms. Benjamin hugged her and planted a kiss on her lips. "Good night, darling, good night." Orissa smiled and pecked his face. "Is that all?" Benjamin raised an eyebrow mischievously, looking at her. "What do you want then?" Orissa chuckled, noticing that he was going to bed early tonight. Benjamin turned her over and pinned her down, kissing her passionately. Soon, Orissa was overwhelmed by Benjamin's teasing breath. Benjamin held her hand, his voice tinged with a seductive tone. "At least it should be like this." The bedroom was filled with a hot and ambiguous atmosphere, and the occasional rapid breathing made people blush. After Benjamin was satisfied, he let her go. He went to the restroom to tidy up before returning with a towel to wipe her hands. From start to finish, Orissa blushed. Benjamin finished taking care of her and leaned down to kiss her on the face. "Go to sleep." Orissa glared at him. With his teasing, she couldn't fall asleep. Meeting Benjamin's mischievous smile, Orissa blushed with embarrassment. She pulled the covers over her head. Smelling the scent, she felt even worse. She pulled the blanket off again. Benjamin went to the restroom. "Let's change the bedding." The scent was all his. Orissa sat up, ready to get clean bedding. "I'll do it." Benjamin looked at her and stopped her from getting out of bed. He went straight to the closet and pulled out clean bedding from inside. Orissa sat on the side, letting him change it. Benjamin placed the clean bedding on the chair, then removed the sheets and covers from the bed. She tried to help, but Benjamin wouldn't let her. "You sit, I'll do it." Benjamin swiftly removed the bedding from the bed and threw it aside. He took the clean bedding and spread it out. His movements were similar to those in a hotel. Orissa rarely saw this, as she usually fell asleep. "Have you learned this before?" Benjamin glanced at her, bent down to secure the four corners of the bedsheet. "In the army, we had to do everything ourselves." Orissa chuckled. "I thought you learned this in a hotel." After finishing with the bedsheet, Benjamin changed the sheets and smoothed them out. "All done." Orissa smiled, got up and sat on the bed, noticing the pillow that Benjamin had touched earlier. "Should we change the pillow too?" Benjamin leaned down to kiss her. "When did you become so obsessed with cleanliness?" Orissa blushed. "You just made it dirty." Benjamin laughed heartily, then took the pillow and put on a clean pillowcase. After making the bed, he let her lie down. "I'll tidy up, you go ahead and sleep." Benjamin tucked her in with a clean blanket that still carried the scent of sunlight, very comfortable. "You can set it aside for now, I'll wash it tomorrow," Orissa instructed him, feeling embarrassed to let Millie clean it. Awkward. Benjamin picked up the sheets from the floor and tossed them into the laundry basket. After washing up in the bathroom, he came back out. "No need to wash, aren't you tired?" Benjamin held her in his arms and turned off the light to sleep. "Let someone else wash it, I feel bad." Orissa didn't have his thick skin. Benjamin kissed her forehead. "I'll take it to wash tomorrow." Orissa smiled. "Can you wash it?" "Don't underestimate me, darling," Benjamin teased, holding her chin. He just didn't often do it himself, not that he couldn't. "All right, you wash it then." Orissa giggled, hiding in his embrace. It was his mess anyway, so he should wash it. Chapter 1848. The couple went to sleep, but Kingsley was still awake at the hospital. "It's so late, why aren't you sleeping?" Sean saw Kingsley tossing and turning in bed, feeling speechless. "I can't sleep," Kingsley said helplessly, sitting up. "I'm going to take a shower." It must be because he hadn't showered yet. Sean was speechless. "Why didn't you shower earlier? Now you want to shower." "I didn't feel like it earlier, and you didn't shower either," Kingsley retorted. As if he had already showered. "I was busy, okay." Sean glanced at him, then looked away and continued to be busy. "Take a hot shower, not a cold one." "I know." Kingsley walked into the restroom to shower. He washed himself from head to toe. 10 minutes later, he came out of the restroom with a towel wrapped around his waist. Sean turned to look at him, his mouth twitching. "This is a hospital ward, pay attention to your appearance," a nurse will come to check on you soon. It was almost time for the midnight rounds. I'll get dressed in a bit, just need to blow dry my hair first. Kingsley sat on the edge of the bed, blow drying his hair. Sean continued to be busy. Kingsley had just finished blow drying his hair and hadn't put away the hairdryer yet when the head nurse and a few other nurses came in for rounds. Deputy Sean. The head nurse greeted Sean when they saw him. Yes, Sean nodded slightly, you can go check on the other rooms. Kingsley was so scared that he hid under the covers. Being watched by so many nurses without clothes on was still very embarrassing. Yes, the head nurse smiled and led them away. Why didn't they say anything before coming in? Kingsley popped out from under the covers and grumbled. Sean replied, didn't I remind you just now? Kingsley. He quickly went to get his clothes and changed. Now it felt much better. Aren't you going to take a shower? I want to sleep, so don't disturb me later. Kingsley put the hairdryer away and got into bed to sleep. Just go to sleep, rest well so you can recover quickly. Sean agreed and continued to enter data. Kingsley lay in bed, watching the busy guy. Do you want a midnight snack? I can order for you. Sean's mouth twitched. I'll eat, you're the one in more discomfort anyway, and you can't eat. Kingsley pursed his lips, wondering if they could communicate properly. Can I have some oatmeal porridge? He was really hungry now. Drink more hot water, Sean said without changing his expression. Kingsley pursed his lips, thinking it was better not to drink hot water, as he would have to get up to use the bathroom at night if he drank too much. He lay in bed, preparing to sleep. He turned off the light on his side. Are you okay over there? It's fine. Sean sped up, knowing that once he finished these tasks, he could rest. Kingsley rolled over and fell asleep. This time, he really fell asleep. Hearing his long breaths, Sean glanced over, then moved his computer to the balcony to continue working. An hour later, Sean finally finished his work, stretched lazily. Packing up his things, he carried them back to the office area. Keep an eye on him, I'll go take a shower and come back. Yes, Mr. Bailey. 12 and others were still standing guard at the door. You guys can go back and rest in a while, I'll be here at night. Sean instructed, knowing they wouldn't be of much use outside, so he let them go back and rest well, and come back tomorrow. Okay, we'll wait for you to come over first. 12 replied. Sean smiled, you can order some late-night snacks for me. He then went back to the office area. He took a quick look at Darius's ward before coming back to take a shower. In no time, he was at Kingsley's side, only half an hour later. The takeout that 12 ordered had arrived. Chapter 1849. They were waiting for Sean outside. 12 was in the room. Are you going back, or eating here before going back? Sean took the supper and looked at them. It's not convenient to eat here. They looked at each other. Let's eat downstairs. Sean nodded, then you go back early, come back tomorrow. Yes, Mr. Bailey. Sean took the food and went in, letting 12 go back. He looked at the guy sleeping on the bed, simply took the food and turned out of the ward to the doctor's office to eat. The duty doctors had all gone to rest, only one was there. Seems to be a new intern. Do you want some? Sean sat down and took out the food. Just ate a little in the cafeteria. Deputy Bailey, you eat. Julia Castro turned to look at Sean, somewhat surprised by his approachability. You can eat with me, I feel bad eating alone. Sean looked at her. No need, I'm on a diet. Julia turned back to continue looking at her computer. Sean sat down and ate for a while, his eyes looking towards her. The girl's profile was somewhat tender, yet quite serious. How many years? Sean started chatting while eating. What? Julia turned to look at him, not sure which aspect he was asking about. Just started the internship. Sean glanced at her again. Clean and tidy, without any societal influence, quite pleasing to the eye. Yeah, I've been interning for a while now. I interned in the emergency room for half a year before being transferred here for over a month. Julia explained her situation. Are you adjusting well? Sean continued eating. It's okay, just started feeling a bit overwhelmed with fatigue, but it's much easier here now. Yeah, the emergency room is really exhausting. Sean nodded. Aren't you coming over to eat something? No, thanks. Julia smiled and turned back to her own tasks. After a moment of silence, Sean asked again. Does anyone in your family practice medicine? No. Julia turned to look at him. Sean nodded and didn't say anything else. Julia turned back to her computer screen. Why was he asking her these questions? Was it some kind of assessment? Was it because no one in her family practices medicine, and they had to mark her down? Keep up the good work, get through the internship period, and things will be easier afterwards. After finishing his food and cleaning up, Sean said goodbye before leaving. The medical profession is very demanding, especially during the internship period, which can discourage many people. Thank you, Deputy Bailey. Julia nodded, watching Sean leave before turning back to continue organizing the documents. After throwing away the trash, Sean returned to Kingsley's ward. Having eaten his fill, he was ready to sleep. He didn't bother to set up the caregiver's bed, just lay down on the couch, making do for the night. Sean rested his head on his arm and closed his eyes to sleep. In the middle of the night, Kingsley got up to use the restroom and saw him lying on the couch. He walked over and kicked his foot. Is this how you sleep? Aren't you tired? Sean was kicked awake by Kingsley, who looked at him. You can sleep like this. Hurry up and go back to sleep. He rolled over and faced the couch. Do you want to come up and squeeze with me? Kingsley walked back to the bed and lay down. The hospital bed was a bit small, but both of them were not fat, so squeezing was still possible. Sean raised an eyebrow and turned to look at him. Do you really want me to come up? Of course, sleep if you want. Kingsley lay down, pulled the blanket over himself, and continued sleeping. Sean yawned, got up to use the restroom, and then came back to lie down on the bed. It's foolish not to sleep when you have a bed. It was late at night. The two of them soon fell asleep. Again, the next morning, they were awakened by noise. As soon as they opened their eyes, they saw old Mr. Graham and William standing at the foot of the bed, whispering to each other about them. Look, William, these two are. It's unbelievable. Mr. Graham, it may not be what we think. Chapter 1850. Seeing is believing. We're all huddled together, what else could it be? Oh, if Sean and Kingsley find out, they'll be furious. Old Mr. Graham looked troubled as he watched the two people huddled together on the bed, shaking his head. Sean and Kingsley looked puzzled. Old Mr. Graham, what are you talking about? They glanced at Darius. Old Mr. Graham smiled and said, just take a look at yourselves. Kingsley quickly withdrew his hands and feet. Just then, Julia came over and saw the two lying on the bed, looking stunned. Seeing that Kingsley hadn't gotten up yet, she avoided them and left. Why are you hugging me? Sean glared at Kingsley. I fell asleep, how was I supposed to know? Why didn't you struggle? Kingsley looked innocent. He must have mistaken him for a pillow. Old Mr. Graham and William watched them bicker and shook their heads. Let's go back, looks like there's nothing wrong with him. Okay. William pushed old Mr. Graham's wheelchair back to their side. It was time for the food to be delivered from the house. In the hospital room, Sean and Kingsley stared at each other. The next moment, they both got up and walked to the restroom at the same time. Unfortunately, they ended up bumping into each other at the door. I'm first. No, I'm first. Both of them were trying to squeeze in, not giving in to each other. I'm the patient, you can't compete with me. Kingsley squeezed in forcefully. Sean's mouth twitched, feeling speechless. I'm going back to the office, you can take your time. Breakfast, breakfast, Kingsley shouted while urinating. It's unclear if Sean heard him. 12 hadn't arrived yet. Sean didn't pay any attention to him. After a night, that guy seemed to have recovered. Hello, Deputy Bailey. Julia came out of another ward and greeted Sean eagerly. Sean walked past her without a word. Julia was puzzled, watching his retreating figure before turning her gaze away. He was quite approachable last night, why is he so aloof today? Is it because of what she just saw, the awkwardness? Julia shook her head, not dwelling on it, and continued to work until her colleagues arrived for the handover. Old Mr. Graham returned to the ward and saw old Mr. Bailey and Zyla, his eyes lighting up. Old Mr. Bailey, who is this girl? She's really beautiful. Old Mr. Bailey chuckled, pulling his granddaughter over. Darius, don't you recognize her? After Zyla came back, no one could recognize her anymore. Luckily, old Mr. Bailey often video called with his granddaughter, otherwise, he wouldn't recognize her either. Darius looked at Zyla Bailey. Zyla smiled. Old Mr. Graham, hello. Darius still didn't recognize her. Looking at William, do you recognize her? William shook his head and looked at Darius. Old Mr. Bailey, who is this girl? Darius, that's the same generation as Sean Bailey, but he also can't recognize which child of the Bailey family it is. Oh my, this is Zyla. After studying abroad for so many years, you all can't recognize her, right? Old Mr. Bailey said proudly. This child has successfully lost weight, so it's normal that you don't recognize her. Zyla. Darius looked at Zyla in shock. Old Mr. Gran, it's me. Zyla smiled, with a hint of shadow in her smile. Girls grow up so fast, your granddaughter has changed more than just growing up. The weight loss has made a big difference, and now she's a beauty. Darius teased old Mr. Bailey. Old Mr. Bailey chuckled, glanced at his granddaughter, and then chatted with Darius. Are you all out exercising? We've been here for a while now. If you don't come back soon, we'll think you've secretly run back home.